Alright, hello. Go ahead and pull out that lecture notes from the last class. We're going to go ahead and finish off this packet today. So if you recall, the front page should look like this, right? Say adding and subtracting polynomials, multiplying polynomials, and so on. We're going to go ahead and finish up that page from last class. So if you remember from the last lecture, we left off on number 10, which was going over multiplying polynomials. So we're going to go ahead and pick up right from there. This is basically just a demonstration of the distributive property. So when we multiply, we have to multiply every term. So when I multiply these two trinomials, I need to distribute. So I need to distribute the 3m squared to everything. So I got 3m squared times 2m squared. 3 times 2 is 6. M squared times m squared is m to the 4th. And then I got 3m squared times 5m. 3 times 5 is 15. M squared times m is m cubed. Then 3m squared times negative 9. 3 times negative 9 is minus 27 m squared. And then I need to distribute the negative 4m to everything. So negative 4m times 2m squared is minus 8m cubed. Then I got negative 4m times 5m, which is minus 20m squared. Then I got negative 4m times negative 9, which is positive 45m. And the last one to distribute is the 1. I do 1 times everything. So 1 times 2m squared is 2m squared. 1 times 5m is 5m. 1 times negative 9 is negative 9. So you want to go ahead and distribute everything. So I multiplied everything by 3m squared, everything by negative 4m, everything by 1. I've exhausted all the multiplication. So I've covered all the bases. And then this is combining like terms. So we talked about this back before spring break. I can combine my m to the 4th with all my other m to the 4th. Note there aren't any other. So that's covered there. And I like to lightly scratch it out when I've combined it. So I've got that term. Now I'm going to combine all my m cubes. Note I got a 15m cubed and a minus 8m cubed. So I can add those together. 15 minus 8 is going to give me 7m cubed. I'll lightly scratch those out. And then I can combine my m squared. So notice I got 3 of them. I got 27 minus 20 plus 2. So when I add all 3 of those, and if you want, you could use your calculator. Or I could take my calculator and go, okay, I want to do negative 27 minus 20 plus 2. Combining the negative 27m squared, then negative minus 20m squared plus 2. It's minus 45. M squared. Again, I like to lightly scratch them out when I combine them. And then the last couple of ones, I got 45m plus 5m, which is 50m, and then minus 9. Okay. And there we are. We have successfully multiplied the polynomials. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do now is I want you to go ahead and try number 11 on your own. So go ahead and pause the video and try number 11 on your own. I'd say pause it for a few minutes, give it a whirl, and then press play once everybody's had an attempt at it. Okie dokie, so hopefully everybody's had an attempt. We're going to go ahead and go over it. So I need to multiply everything by that x squared. So x squared times negative x squared is negative x to the 4th. Multiply that by x squared, I mean negative 9x cubed. Multiply that by x squared, and that's minus 4x squared. All right, notice we've multiplied everything by x squared. Now we're going to multiply everything by 6x. So 6x times negative x squared is minus 6x cubed. 6x times negative 9 is negative 54. X squared. And then 6 times 4 is 24, negative 24. Notice we have successfully multiplied everything by 6x. Now we're going to multiply everything by 7. Negative 7 times negative x squared is positive 7x squared. Negative 7 times negative 9 is going to be 63. Note it'll be a positive 63x. And then 7 times 4 is 28. And there we have it. Notice we have successfully multiplied everything by the first term, the second term, and the third term. So we have exhausted the multiplication. So now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So yeah, negative x to the fourth. I can combine these two x cubed, so minus 9 minus 6. If you don't feel comfortable with the negatives, you can do negative 9 minus 6. Combining those two, so negative 15 x cubed. And then I got minus 4x squared minus 54x squared plus 7x squared. Those are all my x squareds there, there, and there. So I'm going to combine those. So I got negative 4 minus 54 plus 7, which is minus 51 x squared. And then I got 63x. And then I've got, there should be another x term. Did I miss one somewhere? So 6 times 4. That 24 should have an x. There it is. Sorry, when you do the 6x times minus 4, you get minus 24x. So we combine those two. Negative 24 plus 63, which is 39x. Whoops. So that'd be 39x. Got those two, and then plus 28. We go ahead and write that a little bit cleaner. So this would be the correct answer. So if you got negative x to the fourth, minus 15x cubed minus 51x squared plus 39x plus 28. That will get you the correct expression. Let's look at number 12. Height of a trapezoid can be expressed as 2x plus 9, while the bases can be expressed by those two binomials. Write an expression to represent the area. So remember, area of a trapezoid is going to be 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. So in that case, it's going to be area 1/2 times the quantity of these two bases added together times the height, which is 2x plus 9. And there we have it. So there's an expression representing the area. So let's talk about dividing polynomials. So to divide a polynomial, divide each term by the numerator, by the monomial in the denominator. So this is going to be keeping in mind that division is also distributive. So I got to divide both of those by the denominator. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then m cubed divided by m. Remember, when you divide exponents, you subtract the powers. So m cubed divided by m is m squared. Then 24 divided by 3 is 8. M squared divided by m is m. And there you have it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. So we're going to divide all of these by 4x. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. X cubed divided by x is x squared. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and then x squared divided by x is x. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then x divided by x cancels out. Where, x to the first divided by x to the first, you subtract the powers, you get x to the 0, which equals 1. Give you all a moment to write that one down. Now looking at the next one, number 15, You want to keep in mind a negative exponent means a reciprocal. Going back to previous lectures. So when I multiply by that raised to the negative 1, that's the same as dividing it by itself. So remember, a negative exponent means reciprocal, so that negative 1 is going to flip everything inside that it's attached to down to the denominator. So it turns this into a division problem. Give you a moment to write that down. So I got 14 divided by 2, which is 7. A to the fourth divided by a is a cubed. B to the third power divided by b is b squared, just subtracting the powers. And go on to the next term. 20 divided by 2 will be 10. A squared divided by a is a. B squared divided by b is b. Go hit the lights again. And then 2ab divided by 2ab equals 1. Remember, anything divided by itself will equal 1. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at 16. So we're going to go ahead and divide everything by 12 c squared d. Now 30 divided by 12 will not divide perfectly. So if you want, you could use your calculator. And that will reduce to 5 halves. If you're using a Texas Instruments calculator, just hit your math and switch to fraction. So 30 divided by 12 is going to be 5 halves. Or you can write that as 2.5 if you want. So that'll be 2.5. And then let's take care of the variables. C to the 8 divided by c squared, you subtract the powers. So 8 minus 2 would be c to the 6th. And then d cubed divided by d, dividing by d to the first, so d cubed divided by d is d squared. And then go to the next term. 36 divided by 12, that will divide nicely. It'll give us 3, right? 36 divided by 12 is 3. So we got minus 3. C to the 6th divided by c squared is going to be c to the 4th. You subtract the powers. D squared divided by d is d. Again, subtract the powers. And then the last term, notice we got 6 divided by 12, which is 1/2, which we can write as 0.5. So it'll be plus 0.5. C cubed divided by c squared is c, and then the d's cancel out. So there is our divided polynomial. All right, moving right along. Let's look at 17. So we got 30 divided by 3, which is 10. X cubed divided by x squared, so 3 minus 2 is 1. So we got 10x. And then we got 12 divided by 3, which would be 4. Notice it's negative. X squared divided by x squared cancels. And something interesting will happen here. 9 divided by 3 is 3. But when you subtract the powers, you got x to the first divided by x squared. So that's power 1 minus power 2, which gives us a negative exponent when we do the division. Make sure you pay attention to the directions. It says rewrite all terms with negative exponents. So we don't want any negative exponents in our answer. So when I go to write this answer, x to the negative 1, remember a negative exponent means a reciprocal, so that's 3 over x. So just be aware of that. All right, last example for today's lecture. You have 40m cubed n to the 4th divided by 8m squared into the fifth. So divide the numbers first. 40 divided by 8 is 5. And then to divide the variables, you simply subtract the power. So m to the third divided by m squared. 3 minus 2 is 1m left over. Now, something interesting is going to happen here. I got n to the fourth divided by n to the fifth. So if I subtract the powers, 4 minus 5, I will get n raised to the negative 1, subtracting those powers. We'll take care of that negative exponent in a little bit. Going to the next term, 24 divided by 8 is 3. M squared divided by m squared is m to the 0, which cancels out. N to the 7 divided by n to the 5, 7 minus 5 is 2, subtracting the powers. And remember, we don't want any negative exponents in our answers, as per the directions up here. So remember, a negative exponent means reciprocal, so that negative exponent is going to flip that n down to the denominator for the first term. And there's our answer. Okay, that concludes this lecture, so we're finally done with this one. So I want you guys to work on that homework you started before spring break. You do have a homework assignment. I want you to go ahead and finish that homework assignment. That homework assignment is going to be due next class. I will be collecting and grading that. So feel free to use the remainder of the class period to work on that homework, and have a wonderful day.